Hey everybody, John with Owl, and I'm sitting on top of the roof of our van, our Ultimate Revel. And today I want to talk to you about off-grid connectivity, more specifically ways to connect either just because you need to work or you want to get access online, or more importantly, how to connect in an emergency. Now there's a couple of different items that we can use, or a couple of different options on the market. Let's walk through the different items on the market and see which one is maybe best for you. There are positives and negatives to each. Typically, the ones that work the best are also the most expensive, but a lot of times stuff in vans is not cheap, and when it comes to safety, that's not the time to start cheaping out or buying Harbor Freight jack stands, if you will. Some people will get that reference. Anyway, right here beside me are a number of items that I will set down, and I apologize for the low quality of this video. That's how I do my videos. It's just me and my iPhone, and you're gonna have to deal. So right here is Starlink. This is an in-motion Starlink. That is a fairly new product, and it has absolutely transformed remote work, transformed van life, adventure vanning, whatever you want to call it. It's fantastic. So anyway, that's Starlink. Next to it, we've got, this is a Garmin InReach. And we're gonna go through all of these products and what they do. Right here is a Garmin Tread. I apologize for the noise. We're still working, my friends. We can't stop just because I wanna shoot some videos. This is a Garmin Tread. And then right here, we have what is called a WeBoost. And WeBoost, this is the Drive Reach OTR. WeBoost also has a overlanding edition that is slightly better for off-road, etc. But let's talk through the differences. Now, I think number one is, why would you want these things? And to me, there are a few reasons for that. And there's no harm in wanting to be connected. I think people take a ton of pride in, oh, I like to get off the grid and I don't want to be contacted and this and that. And I get it. And some people are like that. And I have times like that too. But the reality of the modern world is we all have busy lives and we all have families, and we want to be able to connect with them. And maybe it's as simple as a FaceTime call with your kids at the end of the day. Maybe you want to get off the grid, but you've got work and you've got special emails or a Zoom call that you've got to take. These are the reasons women need these things. Finally, you always unequivocally have to have a connection to safety. And anyone that's done this long enough has had a situation where something has gone sideways and you have to get a hold of help. You don't want to leave yourself at the mercy of hoping someone comes by. So let's start with the simplest form of help. One item I don't have on here because I'm shooting with it, and I'll grab another one and walk you through it in another video. Your iPhone. Your iPhone, if it's an iPhone 14 or newer, that can actually contact a satellite in an emergency. And it's pretty cool stuff. Normally satellite phones have those big giant antennas. The iPhone got away without using a big giant antenna by using you kind of as an antenna. And if you want to know how this works, I'm going to do a separate video, so I'm not going to bore people in this video with the specifics of how to do that, but I'm going to walk you through testing your satellite emergency connection. What that means is I'm going to have you practice how to do it, so that if you ever did end up in a situation where it was life or death and you needed to make that emergency satellite call, you're not trying to figure out how to do it. You want to know how to do it before you're in an emergency situation. It's part of being prepared. So in the comments, I will link to a video about how to use your iPhone 14 or newer to contact satellites in an emergency. I think it's supported for 2 years for free on the iPhone, and then I think you have to pay for it. So iPhone aside, well, the iPhone connects to your cell networks as well as satellites if it's iPhone 14 or newer. Now, if it's not iPhone 14, if it's an older model, you don't have satellite connectivity, you only have cell tower. I'm not really going to go over much as far as hotspots or cell phones because they're basically the same thing. They require a connection to a cell tower, and anyone that's gone anywhere in this country realizes how crap cell connection can be. So we'll put cell connection aside. Everyone kind of knows about that. So next, for pure emergencies, Garmin InReach. There's also, I don't know if they discontinued it, there's a smaller version of this. These are great for hiking and so on, especially pre-iPhone, because these connect, you can see the little stubby antenna, these connect to a satellite, which means you need no cell service. In fact, I should explain that satellite connectivity means anywhere in the world, because the satellites are way up high. Cell towers have to be within a geographic concentric circle of the tower, and the different bands reach further or shorter. You know, for example, 5G, very fast, but doesn't reach very far. You need a lot more towers. It actually doesn't have very good reach. So satellites work anywhere in the planet that has a clear view of the sky. This is a satellite communicator. It's not a telephone. It's not a sat phone. You can't get on this and have a conversation, but you can text, which actually is pretty good. I was in Baja in the middle of nowhere last year with Back to Baja. This was pre-Starlink for me, and my phone did not have any service, and I was texting with my wife because we were in the process of closing on a house, and she needed my attention very rapidly. So those are the kind of reasons we may need to connect. And so I was able to text her back and forth with this. So this is a great safety tool for hikers, backpackers, etc. It also has trail maps on it. You can learn more about these if you go Google them or go on Amazon, whatever, but you can leave breadcrumbs. You can look at trail maps, topography maps, etc. Pretty cool little device. Garmin didn't want to stop there, and so then they came out with the Tread. Now, there used to be something called the Overlander, which was a screen that allowed you to navigate off-road. It had off-road trails, campsites, topographical maps, etc. The big step forward for the Tread, see the stubby antenna again? It connects to the satellite itself. So when you used to need an Overlander and an inReach, now they've baked it all into one product. This is, I think it's an 11-inch screen, really cool product. Got some cool features in it. So this also connects and communicates via a satellite. This does require a subscription. I should have mentioned, this also requires a subscription. I can put the cost in the description. I think it's like 15 bucks a month, 19 bucks a month, etc. That is a great way to kind of get a 2-for-1. You get satellite connectivity for safety. You also get really, really good comprehensive off-road maps. A lot of people go, well, why wouldn't you just use the maps in your phone? A lot of times, because Google constantly wants to have you connecting to them, you have to download the maps, and then they're only good for a certain period of time. And you also have to preemptively download the maps, because if you get off grid and don't have cell connectivity, you can't download it. So that's one of the nice features of the Tread. Okay, so other options. This is a WeBoost. We talked about a WeBoost, and if you've ever been driving behind a van and seen this funny looking antenna sticking up on the back and wondered, what the heck is that? Well, that's a WeBoost, and these are pretty cool. And before Starlink, which we'll talk about in a minute, this really was kind of your only option as far as trying to get usable internet. These things are great for safety. They don't have internet. You cannot connect, you can't do a Zoom call and these kinds of things. The way this works is it amplifies the signal that currently exists from a tower, meaning you must still be within range of a tower. Your cell phone might be showing, that it's got a tower, but it's got like one bar, and it's not really usable. Everyone's had that situation where you can see bars on your phone, but anytime you try to do something, it doesn't work. This is going to take that small signal, and then with, God, I don't know what the technical term for this little amplifier box. It takes a very weak signal and it amplifies it, but it amplifies it in a very small area inside of your vehicle. There are all kinds of FCC rules as to what this can do. This is going to work for AT&T and Verizon. They use GSM and CDMA and different spectrums. This works for both of them. You can get spectrum specific boosters, which can actually be more powerful than a WeBoost, and we sell WeBoost. I love WeBoost, so that's what I would recommend. But if you really, really, really want to amplify just your signal, you can get band specific boosters. And so that would be like if you have Verizon and you knew you were going to stay on Verizon, you could technically get a Verizon specific booster. Same is true at AT&T. But like myself, moving from California to Arizona, AT&T worked in California, it sucked here. Now Verizon works a lot better here, and maybe it's the same with T-Mobile and these kinds of things. There are areas where those things work better or worse. So again, WeBoost, this is something that has to be installed. Now you can install it yourself. Hold on, airplane. One of the perks of having your building right next to an airport is constant interruption from airplanes, but they're pretty cool airplanes sometimes. This needs to be professionally installed. It needs to be wired to power. A lot of people will come into Owl Off-Roads and get these things installed. These are pretty effective, again, if you're within range. So that is a best way to think of a WeBoost is it's a boost, an amplifier, but you have to have signal. Now, getting into this big dinner plate. This is a Starlink in motion. Now, lots of people have probably already seen the Starlinks that you set up on a little tripod and they rotate and follow the satellites. They're pretty cool. Those are mostly intended for home use. Lots of people cut them up and try to put them, or did, I have a video on this, put them on the roof of your van. And for a while there, Starlink, before this existed, was allowing you to use that in motion. And then they came out with this, and they've put a lot of they've clamped down on the use of the InMotion for the, what is it, Dishy 3 or something, Dishy 2. What does Starlink do? Starlink is true high-speed internet connectivity via satellite anywhere in the world. It is hands down fantastic. It's not cheap. Neither is a Ferrari. I'm sure they're amazing to drive. I've actually never driven one. But quality costs money. This didn't exist before, and I hear a lot of people complain about the cost of it, to which I would say, then why wouldn't you use HughesNet or DirecTV? Why? Because they suck. And so you can pay a lower monthly bill and have something that completely sucks. I know this because I've had these things before. And sorry, HughesNet and DirecTV, but your internet sucks. The cool thing about Starlink is it's genuine high speed. You can watch 4K Netflix videos if you want to watch that going to bed. I've said it before, I'm like a Seinfeld fan. I'll flip that on before bed. It puts me in a happy place. So even if I'm camping, before I go to bed, I'll flip on a little show just to calm myself down. But these things will allow you to do work, Zoom calls, high-speed internet, upload projects for work, and these kinds of things. And it finds the satellites on its own. So very little involvement from a user standpoint. This one is an in-motion dish. And the cool thing about an in-motion dish is this works while you're driving. Obviously, you as a driver are probably not going to be surfing the internet, so why would you want that? Well, if you have passengers, they can be surfing the internet. The other side of it is your maps are going to update. You know, if you're using Google Maps, you're going to be able to have a Wi-Fi connection to have those maps update. Wi-Fi calling. You can turn your iPhone on to Wi-Fi calling. If you haven't done that, you should. And so if you're out in the middle of nowhere with no cell signal, you're still going to send and receive phone calls. You're still going to send and receive text messages because it's going to go out via Wi-Fi. So really, really nice. This is the, I'll say it again, this is the Ferrari of off-grid options as far as connectivity. I am absolutely in love with it, but you're looking at a dish. Now, if you get the Dishy, I want to say they're like $500 or $600. That's the one that you have to set up, and it tracks the satellites as they move. This one, the flat in motion, I think is $2,500, so a lot more expensive there. But hey, cheaper than the yacht version. I think the yacht version is like 10 grand and 5 grand a month, or maybe even it's like 100 grand. It's like some obscene amount of money. But I guess if you have a yacht, do you care how much your internet costs? So not the yacht version, not getting that anytime soon. The in-motion version, $2,500 for the hardware, and then it's going to be $150 a month. I believe with the tripod Dishy, it is $500 or $600 to buy the dish, and I think it's $135 a month for the RV connectivity, which means you can move it around because that's technically a residential dish, and so you're not supposed to move it. Anyway, so those are the different costs involved. Again, Garmin InReach. This is something that is going to be, $20 a month, and it's text connectivity. It's great for safety. The Tread, great for all your off-road stuff. Also got the connectivity via satellite, but not internet, just for safety. That's also going to have a subscription fee. WeBoost, no subscription fee, but you are going to have to be within range of a cell signal for it to be usable. Starlink, hands down, the coolest, best way to connect. Super expensive, but also super functional. You're also going to have to get this installed unless you're pretty technical and want to be able to drill stuff through your roof, which you absolutely can. It comes as a, it's 110, so it's not 12 volt like most RV stuff. So you're going to have an inverter to run this, which most vans do. And people will complain that it uses more power. It doesn't really use that much more power, but you do have to be running your inverter to get this to work. There are folks that will 12 volt convert Starlinks if you so desire. So anyway, a lot of options there, and you can go down this rabbit hole for a long period of time. But I just wanted to talk to folks from the roof of a van as to what the different options are for connectivity. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to our customer service staff. Again, I'm going to do a tutorial, which you absolutely should take the time to watch in case you ever need it. The iPhone that's filming this, that's not in this case, on how to connect your iPhone to a satellite and possibly save your life. Pretty good stuff. Thank you for taking time to watch this video. Tons of other videos. Reach out and shoot us an email or a phone call if you have questions. Thanks so much.